Right then, Jupiter. Time to once again prove that you're not a complete waste of space, and an actual valuable member of the pack. Who am I kidding? That's never going to happen. But maybe helping provide food for them all will be a start. It's better than nothing anyway. Now, where did that deer go? It's around here somewhere.
Ah, there you are. Perfect. Now I just need to get a little bit closer and then push you right into the path of the other two. Easy does it. Easy does it. Right. Get ready to pounce. In 3, 2, 1. Huh? What's that noise? Huh? What happened there? No. Oh, drat it. That's just brilliant.
Oh, you little brat, come back here, you! Jupiter! Oh, great. As if things couldn't get any worse. What on earth was all that noise about? What happened? Oh, I'll tell you what happened. I was literally about to run towards that deer and chase him into your path. And then suddenly, I get bitten on the leg, which naturally made me scream in pain because it hurt so much. That is quite impossible, Jupiter. No wolf would ever dare bite another wolf on the leg, especially during a hunt. That's not how pack law works. We work together, not against. Are you quite sure someone bit you? Oh, I never said it was a wolf. I know exactly who bit me. Then who was it? Lucy. Not you as well. Don't tell me everybody heard. I should have thought half the forest heard you. Who exactly bit you then? Nigel, that brat of a bear cub. He's the one who bit me. I saw him scamper away just after he did it. I know it was him. Oh, really, Jupiter, not another story about you and Nigel. It couldn't have possibly have been him. Exactly. He's back at the den with Helen. I am positive it was Nigel, Jackie. It was definitely him. Not only did I see him scamper away, I felt his teeth sink into my leg, but also, why would I dare risk ruining such a valuable hunt just to make up some stupid story? I'm hungry too, you know. I want to eat just as much as anyone does. Well, he couldn't have bitten you very hard. I don't see any sort of wound or blood or anything on your leg. Are you sure you didn't just catch your foot on a thorn or something? It does happen. You really don't believe me, do you? He bit me on the leg. So naturally, I screamed. Honestly, Jupiter, why would Helen single you out just to irritate you and have her son involved? There's no way she would do that. Stop making up stories just to spite her. Everyone else gets on with her just fine. Only you seem to have a problem. It's a bit strange, don't you think? Now let's go back to the pack. We'll have a rest, and then we will try and hunt some more food later on. But I don't think you'll be joining us this time, Jupiter. Clearly you have other things on your mind other than food. Now go on, off you go. We should be right behind you. And when we get back, we can ask Nigel himself where he was. Then we should know the truth of the matter. Well, fine then. I can't wait to get back to the pack to prove you all wrong. Do you think she was telling the truth? Only one way to find out, I suppose. Yeah. Where are you, hon? You're cutting it a bit fine. Here I am, Mar. My sweet boy. Did you have fun playing just outside the confines of the den area? Right where I could see you? Yes, Mar. I sure did have fun. I played exactly what you told me to, and so I wouldn't be a bad boy and disobey. Well, aren't you Mama's precious little angel? Such a good boy. I got some wool fur stuck in my teeth. It tastes bad. Wipe it off quickly then. Now, get into position. They should be back any moment now. Siding with a bear over me, a fellow wolf, I'd like to add. I can't believe it.
What now?
I'm beyond words. Literally, I'm beyond words.
Oh dear.
It doesn't make sense either, as if I would ever dare.
Here we go again.
That happened like that. Why would I? I don't understand it. You both...
What's going on? What happened?
Oh, you better ask Jupiter that question.
Really? Okay, Jupiter, what happened? Did something go wrong?
Well, you could say that, yes. I got bitten on the leg, the back leg, by Nigel. He snuck up behind me. I just saw him scamper away after I screamed my head off because it hurt so much. They all think I made it up, which I didn't, Jackal. I honestly didn't. How dare you imply that my son had anything to do with this? He was with me the whole time, running around the edges of the pack den site, right where I could see him. That is physically impossible. I saw him with my own eyes, running away. I'm sure if you take the time to part between my fur, I'm sure you'll find small teeth marks in there that belong to your son. I shall do no such thing, young missy. Who knows what disease you might be carrying? You can infect my poor cub with some terrible disease. I don't think she's got any diseases, Helen. But as I suspected, nothing actually happened. I'm just really blown away by the fact that you believe the word of a bear over a wolf. Granted, you don't know me that well, but I wouldn't lie to you, Jackie. I actually kind of want to stay here. This is the first pack I've been in since I left home. I do want to make a good impression, and lying to an alpha wolf whilst on a very vital hunt is not one of them. Ask the brat himself and see what he says. Watch yourself and how you speak to me, Jupiter. Wolf or not, remember I am your alpha, your leader. You will respect me. However, since you are determined to make a spectacle of yourself and to keep on with this facade, Nigel, do you have anything to add to Jupiter's statement? Remember, be truthful now. Yes, Nigel. You must tell the truth. I promise I wasn't anywhere near where Jupiter said I was.
Honestly, Jackie, you've been so nice to me and my ma. I wouldn't dare lie to you. I promise. On my honor, I was not anywhere near where Jupiter says I was, and I sure didn't bite her. I don't like wolves. I eat meat like deer and rabbit. I don't eat wolves. They don't taste very nice. So it's okay, my son. Now look what you've done. You've upset him, you beast. Come on, child. Come, let Mama comfort you.
Oh, boo-hoo. Like anyone's actually going to believe that story. Well, that settles it then. The matter is over. And it is done. Jupiter, I want you to go over there and think about what has just happened. Remember, lying is wrong, especially in a wolf pack where we rely on each other. I can't believe you'd stoop to such a level, just to get back at Helen for some misunderstanding. Honestly. Helen, Nigel, I do apologise most profusely for this entire chaos. Please, I invite you to join the hunt with me later on, Helen. I'm sure we can find a suitable babysitter for Nigel while we are away. You can show me some of those best spots you said that are good for where deer usually hang out. I'd consider it an honour. As a way of an apology, you'll also get the first choice of animal and the first taste of its meat. I can't say fairer than that. But Off you go, Jupiter. And don't let me see you again for the rest of the day. Fine. See if I care. Well, that went well. I am really getting very tired of Jupiter and her antics. Maybe I should send away after all.
Well, if you want my opinion, I think it's about time you did something about her. You can't possibly expect to rule a pack as efficiently as you do, with a temperament like that hanging over your shoulders. Honestly, I think she's a bad influence. I'd hate for her to corrupt such a young mind as mine, Nigel, or such a kind and well-meaning manner as yourself or SJ. I think you should really consider banishing her. But then again, that's just my opinion. You are the alpha after all. You know what's best for your pack.
Yes, I do. Well, why don't you and I have a quick chat? We can decide the best hunting location.
All right. Be quick, man. I'm very hungry.
Okay, we won't even have a rest then. We'll go straight out as soon as we find a suitable area to hunt in.
That sounds like a perfect plan.
This is not looking good. For anyone.
Oh, I'm sick and tired of this pack. I should leave them all now and let them starve. Oh, I hate it here. I should just leave now and never ever return.
Actually, I have a better idea.
You know, you've got to really stop scaring me to death. It's a very annoying habit of yours.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't quite say my habits are annoying, Jupiter. In fact, some of them are very useful. Observation, for one thing. I feel it is a very vital addition to my habits, as you so quaintly put them.
What's observation got to do with anything? Let's face it, SJ, I'm clearly doing something wrong and I'm not even aware of it. I swear to you that Nigel did bite me. What's the point, though? No one's ever going to believe me.
I do.
Exactly! I knew exactly! No one would ever Wait, what did you say?
I said, I believe you. I know for a fact you wouldn't lie about something like this. You're determined to prove your innocence in this pack, not destroy it. So, naturally, I believe you. Well, I can see you're telling the truth, Jupiter. Don't ask me how, I just know it.
Then why does nobody believe me? I'm cursed, SJ. Wherever I go, whatever I do, something bad always happens to me. I can never win anything.
Well, to be fair, Jupiter, sometimes you do sort of walk into these things. But I agree, this time, you may have cause for argument.
What do you mean, may? What would you know? Helen says Nigel was here the whole time. She says all sorts of things.
Well, Nigel was here with Helen, but for a while. He did go out of sight for a brief period in time, but there's an entire section round behind the back of the cave that he could have gone. Behind it, inside it, outside it, who knows? Being on lookout, there are several vantage points I can see from, but there are 1 or 2 blind spots. Not very many, granted, but 1 or 2. But the terrain to get there is so rocky that most animals are deterred by the sheer amount of it all.
What do I do, SJ? I have to prove myself. I'm this close to being kicked out of the pack. Maybe I should just leave and that way everybody's happy.
Everyone except you.
Why should you care about my feelings? I'm the nobody, remember?
I think you're somebody. Somebody who, for whatever reason, is being targeted by Helen.
You really mean that?
Of course I do, Jupiter. I will admit, I've grown up my entire young life so far, only knowing Helen in the pack. And one day, Nigel came along and, well, she's been rather protective over him. Understandably, of course. She is his mother. It is her duty to protect her child. But as a child, it is also his job to listen to his mother. And I'm worried, Jupiter. I'm wondering if perhaps you're right after all. Helen is definitely up to something. That much I do know. But however, I am worried. There is some kind of hold she has over this pack. I didn't want to believe it before, but having seen the way she reacted to you, and how unnaturally vocal Nigel was about defending himself, I believe you may be right. But I wish I knew what on earth Helen was up to.
So what do I do? I can't keep living like this, SJ. It's going to drive me out of my mind.
Well, I think we need to find exactly what's going on here. And there's only one way I know we can do that. Without alerting Helen, of course.
Then we should tell everyone. We can find information, and then we can tell the whole pack.
Slow down, Jupiter. Don't rush into things.
SJ, I'm trying to defend myself. How's that rushing into anything?
There's a way we can do it, without alerting Helen, and without stressing out Jackie more than she already clearly is. Whatever hold Helen has over this pack, it seems to be terrifying Jackie. I can see it in her eyes every time I look at her and Helen together. I should have done something sooner. But now with you here, maybe I can. I have a plan, Jupiter. I've been thinking about it. Granted, not for very long, but sufficiently enough to get a good idea of what we need to do. And I need your help for it. I can't do it on my own.
I just realised something. Am I going to like this plan? I've got a funny feeling I'm not going to.
Do you want to prove yourself to Jackie and this pack, or not?
Ugh, fine then. What's your idea then?
I think we need to split Helen and Nigel up somehow. At least for a little while. Maybe being young, he'll let something slip that his mother might not. And that way, we can find out exactly what's going on here. It'll take some time, maybe a few days, maybe even more. But I don't think we can waste too much time, Jupiter. I really do believe time is of the essence here. We don't have very long to try and make this plan work. It'll be better than nothing, but it may give us some advantage as to what exactly Helen is up to, and maybe even how to stop it. So, what do you say, Jupiter? Are you in?
Right, so you reckon that's the best area to go, do you? Oh, I believe so, and I know what I'm doing. I've been alive a long time, and I know exactly what I'm doing.
Are we all ready to go then?
SJ, I was just coming to find you. I would like you to join the hunting party today. You have a good sense of smell, and you'll be able to detect prey much further than any of us can. If Jackal takes on your responsibility, will you be able to do that?
Oh, absolutely. You can rely on me, Jackie. I won't let you down.
That just leaves us with the question of who's going to babysit Nigel. Oh yeah, I'd nearly forgotten all about that.
Actually, Jackie, if I may be so bold as to say this, I believe I may have the perfect candidate for that role. That is, of course, if you agree with it.
I'm listening. What is it?
Well, I couldn't help overhearing the incident involving Jupiter just now. So, I thought of a solution. Something that benefits everyone and teaches Jupiter some manners. If I may bring her over?
Very well, SJ. Bring her over.
I don't like where this is going.
Jupiter, come over here, please.
Yes? What's the matter?
As you know, Jackie, Jupiter has, well, not really done very well to start off her life here in this pack. And I've heard you've mentioned a few times you're considering of maybe making her leave. I believe what Jupiter needs is a lesson in humility and caring for others. I believe that will make her consider her choices and her actions much more easily. If I may explain my idea to you?
Go ahead.
My idea is that Jupiter should be allowed to babysit Nigel.
What?
Of course, my mother is here to keep an eye on her. No harm will come to Nigel, I promise you.
Are you out of your mind? You want me to babysit him?
You need a lesson in humility, Jupiter. And you said you wanted to prove yourself more in the pack. This is the perfect opportunity. And also it means you get to apologize to Helen and actually mean it. I think it's the perfect solution.
Well, I don't think it's the perfect solution. You want that beast to babysit my child while I'm not here to defend him? Well, I don't really like it either, Helen. But SJ is, well, young, but he is wise. And it might just be the trick to get Jupiter to behave herself. And that way she's doing a good service to you, raising your child. You said you wanted some extra help with him. Yes, by wolves I can trust, not by whatever that thing is. Would you at least consider it? Maybe today could be a trial period. Well, I don't know. Can they really keep an eye on her? What if she forces them all to do her bidding? I don't think that's going to happen somehow, Helen. And SJ, well, you know him. He's as honest as the day is long. Well, I don't know. It might be a good idea, but I'm not sure. But, as you say, we do need the food. And we don't have really much of a choice. So, all right then. But you just watch yourself, young missy. If I so much as find a scratch on my poor Nigel, you are for it. Got it?
Okay, I'll do it. I'll look after your precious little child for you. Don't worry. Nothing's going to happen to him. If it does, I'll take full responsibility. I really want to prove myself, Jackie. Please give me this opportunity to try and impress you. And to tell you how sorry I am, Helen. I really should watch what I say.
Can't say fairer than that.
Well, then that's settled then.
Well, all right then. You look after yourself now, Nigel. Don't you worry, Ma. I'll be a good boy. I promise. I'll make you proud.
Of course you will, my son.
I trust you. I'm watching you, Jupiter. You better behave around my son. Well, let's go then. No time like the present. Bye, Mar. Have fun. Bring me back something nice. I'm gonna miss her. Tag, you're it.
Oh. Right. Here we go.
I'm gonna get you, you little bear.
Oh, I'm bored. Focus, Jackal. You're doing this for the pack. Keep that in mind.
That's a lot of running around. Seriously, does that cub ever wear out? Maybe a small nap won't do too much harm. I can keep one eye open.
Got you.
Ow! Don't do that, that hurts.
Well, you're supposed to be playing with me, and you're not doing a very good job of that, you know.
Why don't you go and play by the cliff edge?
Oh, I can't do that. Mar says there are eagles down there that would take a young cub like me.
Really? I never would have guessed.
I'm going to tell my Mar on you.
Oh, do you have to tell your mother everything?
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to. She's my Mar. If I didn't tell her everything, I wouldn't be a good boy.
Ugh. And you really want to be a good boy to her, don't you? It's that important to you.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Of course it is. If I'm not a good boy, then my Mar won't be happy. And I want to make my Mar happy. She gets sad sometimes, so I try everything I can to make her happy.
So that's why you like to stay inside of the den, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it gets a bit boring.
Why's that?
Well, I'm the only bear cub around here. And my Mar, she's very territorial. That's it. My Ma, she's very that word. And she doesn't like other bears coming near me. Other bears can be nasty to cubs that aren't their own. And sometimes, even those that are. So, sometimes it gets pretty boring just hanging around the den. trying to keep inside of my more.
I suppose it must be. So I suppose, you being a young, rambunctious little cub, you must have a lot of good hiding spots, right? Perfect places for hide and seek, yeah?
I don't know what that word means. Rambung. That, I don't know what it means. But hide and seek? Yeah! I love hide and seek. It's my favorite game. But my mom doesn't like me playing it very much. Because then I go outside and she can't find me, even though that's the whole point of the game. But, yeah, I know good hiding places. I know several.
Really? Hide and seek, huh? Why don't we play that game next instead of tag? That's a lot of running around for me.
You're not very fit, are you?
No, of course I'm not. I'm not used to looking after a cub. Anyway, so yeah, hide and seek. Where's the best spot to hide then?
I can't tell you about all of them, because they're mine. And I like things that are mine. Like my Mar, she's mine.
Can we get to the point, perhaps? It'll be sundown in a few hours.
I don't think that's possible. Sundown's not for many hours. It's not even the afternoon yet.
Would you just get to the point, please, Nigel? I'm dying of old age over here.
Well, one of my favorite places to hide, that's really my favorite of all, is that there's a little path that goes from the back of the cave and goes down towards the edge of the den and towards the beginning of the forest. I go there a lot because there's a little stream that runs by there, and I get to see lots of animals and birds and things in the river and out in the forest and things like that. And I like to go down there a lot. It's not very far. It acts as what my mom calls a shortcut. But nobody else knows about it because it's only small enough for cubs to get through. That's my favorite place of all.
Really? Hang on a minute. The edge of the forest. That's where we were this morning for the hunt. Well, that explains a lot. So, Nigel, this, secret way, how do you get back so quickly without your mum noticing? She must be really worried about you if she can't see you. I wouldn't want you to get in trouble if we played that game ourselves.
Oh, that's easy. I just hear my Mars voice, or I know when she's coming, and I can run back as fast as I can before she even notices I've really gone.
Well, we won't tell your mother about that one either then.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that. Mama already knows about that one.
Really? Well, why don't you go and hide somewhere? Not where you told me, though. I think it's a bit too late in the morning for that. And besides, your mother will be back soon, and you don't want to get into trouble, do you?
Why are you being nice to me all of a sudden? I thought you didn't like me.
It's not that, Nigel. It's just that, well, I don't like, being made fun of. And, well, let's face it, I feel like I'm being picked on. And I don't like being bullied. It's not nice to be bullied. It's just about as bad as lying.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Oh?
I'm sorry about this morning.
Why?
Well, I just feel kind of bad. I didn't mean to. Well, I did, but I was only doing what I was told to do.
How do you mean?
Nothing. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna hide. You count to, how high you can count to.
I see. Well, that explains an awful lot.
Are you counting?
Why don't we go and play by the ledge? Or something. Oh, the temptation to just... Oh. The temptation to what, Jupiter? You know what? Nothing. It doesn't really matter. I was just dreaming. A happy daydream. Anyway, how are you, Anna? I haven't seen you since last night, so is everything all right? Save the pleasantries, Jupiter. I have a question to ask you. I saw you talking to my son this morning. I want to know about what. I know you're up to something, Jupiter. Our conversation a few nights ago proved that. You're here for some reason. I just wish I knew what it was. But if what you talked about this morning has anything to do with that, I want my son to have no part in it.
Well, then that's going to be a bit difficult then.
And why is that?
Because the plan was SJ's idea.
Idea? I don't understand. What exactly are you and my son up to? As his mother, I have a right to know. He's all I have left, Jupiter. I don't want to see him harmed.
I don't think he's going to come to any harm, Anna. It was his idea to do this whole thing.
Wait a minute. That complaining this morning, where SJ suggested you babysit Nigel, that was part of the plan?
Exactly. The whole thing was just made up to make Helen go away. We're trying to split her and Nigel up, at least for a few hours, to get some information out of them. SJ made me promise not to tell anyone, but I can't get into more trouble than I already have. Let's face it, I'm doomed anyway. Something is going on with Helen and Nigel. Helen's got way too much control over Jackie. You surely must have seen that much. So, SJ and me, well, SJ came up with a plan. He'd go with Helen on the hunt today and see what he could learn, and I'd stay behind and babysit little Nigel, and, see what I could, gather from him. Then we'd chat next time SJ was on lookout and see what we found.
Well, I must say one thing, Jupiter. Your act this morning was very convincing. You almost had me believing that you really didn't want to spend time with Nigel.
To be honest, some of it wasn't really acting. I really hate spending time with that brat, but SJ said that sometimes we have to do things we really don't want to do in order to benefit others and to sometimes gain answers for ourselves. I hate it when he gets all wise. It's kind of creepy.
Just like his father. Believe me, it took a while for me to get used to Scout's ways. And I see him every time I look at my own son. Have you gleaned anything so far?
I'm not sure yet. But I think I need to have more chance to talk with them first. Them about what? Oh, Lucy! I didn't see you there. You're back early. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to find anything else, Jupiter. Except a rabbit, and Helen ate that, because Jackie promised her first bite of the first meal we found. And a rabbit doesn't go very far with a pack of hungry wolves, so it seemed ridiculous to bring it back for the rest of us to share. So we'll try again tomorrow, and maybe we'll have better luck then. Now, talk with who about what?
Well, just, SJ. Actually. What? I suggested to Jupiter that perhaps she could help out SJ on lookout. That way, maybe she can prove herself even more so by learning how to protect the pack and to learn a test of strength from it all. I cannot think of a more humble activity than learning to protect the pack from intruders.
Yes, exactly. I wanted to talk to SJ about that since he's mostly on lookout. But of course, I need to talk with the Alpha as well. And to offer my apologies, as Anna suggested.
I shall mention it to Jackie when she gets back in a few moments. Well done, Jupiter. Perhaps your punishment this morning has made you realise, after all, that lying really isn't a good thing.
Phew, that was a close one. Yes, it was. But why? Why did you protect me? You don't know me. I've been nothing but a nuisance since I arrived here. Why are you protecting me now?
Because deep down, Jupiter, I believe you're right. Helen has some sort of great hold over this pack, and I don't like it either. All my life I've been taught one thing. Bears and wolves do not mix. If there must be a collaboration, there better be a good reason for it. And I wasn't really present or really coherent to understand why Helen ended up joining the pack in the first place. I was so weak from giving birth to SJ, and so tired and sad from grieving over Scout. I honestly don't know how Helen ended up in the pack. Just one day she wasn't, and then she was. I believe what my son is doing is the right thing, Jupiter, and I'm really pleased he's got an ally in you to help him. And I hope you both will see one in me, too. I want to help you. More eyes on this are better than none, and I will do everything I can to watch Helen and Nigel from here. It will give me something to do, take my mind off certain things.
Well, I don't mind, but of course it's really up to SJ. It's his plan. I'll try and mention it to him later if I get a chance to. Thank you so much for not giving me away. You're the first animal I've ever met that's stood up for me in a long time. I kind of forgotten how good that felt.
I only want to be your friend, Jupiter, and I want what's best for you and this pack. If that means finding out whatever Helen's up to, then so be it. I'll do anything to help you too. Jackie and the others should be back soon. I'd better go in my den and act as if I'm being my usual miserable self. Okay. You take a deep breath now. And remember, stay true to the plan. Don't give anything away. And remember not to overdo it too much. You don't want to push Jackie over the edge and banish you completely. But at the same time, don't be too submissive. Too much too soon will give the game away. All right? All right. Thank you, Anna. A friend, eh? I've never had a friend before. No, stay focused, Jupiter. You're on a mission. Just solve this problem for SJ, and then you can be on your way. Once you've completed your task first.
So this is looking out for the pack, is it?
Yes, quite relaxing when you think about it.
I don't see how. You're just staring at a view all day. Did you learn anything at all while you were out with Helen?
Possibly. I'm not entirely sure, though. She was keeping herself very guarded. She was very fretful and worrying about Nigel all the time. I could hear her muttering to herself under her breath. She was mumbling something about taking care of business when the time came. And I could see by Jackie's face, but she looked terrified. Helen is definitely in charge of this pack. I just don't know how. It's most perplexing. I don't like how uncomfortable it makes me feel. Did you learn anything from your time with Nigel?
Only that he's a brat.
I meant something useful.
Well, I think so. I know how he snuck past everybody else without them seeing him run away from me. Apparently, there's a little hole in the bushes behind the back of the cave. That's how he did it this morning. He snuck out there, bit me on the leg, and ran back.
But it's impossible for him to do it all by himself. Why would he think of such a thing? He must have had a motivation for doing so.
Well, I think we can both guess what his motivation was, SJ. His mother, that's who. That bear, she's trying to get rid of me. I don't know why.
Maybe because you're interfering with her plans. If Helen is up to something, you are the perfect opportunity to completely ruin that for her. But also, you could be a very useful opponent. If she can play the rest of the pack against you, then Jackie will kick you out. And then Helen has control of the pack again. You, Jupiter, can be the strongest link to us solving this mystery. If you just remember to sometimes keep your head, then everything should be all right. Long enough, at least, for us to work out what to do next.
Oh, that reminds me. Your mother found out about the plan.
How? Did you tell her?
No, well, not intentionally. She worked it out. She saw
you and me having a conversation earlier.
Oh, I see. I should have remembered my mother is just as observant. So what do we do now?
Nothing. She's in on the plan, SJ. Anna's agreed to help us.
She could be putting herself in great danger.
I think somehow she knows that. Your mother's not a fool, SJ. She's very brave. She even called me her friend.
Her friend? I hope you realize what that means, Jupiter. My mother hasn't had a friend since my father died. That makes you very special. Please, promise me no matter what happens, you will not break her heart.
You can rely on me, SJ.
I hope so, Jupiter. I hope so. Was there anything else you wanted to tell me?
Maybe one thing. Nigel said he was sorry about this morning. When I asked him why, he got all sensitive and ran off.
Seems that little bear cub has a conscience. I wonder what his mother would do if she found out about that.
Well, she's not going to find out for now, is she?
Precisely. Good thinking, Jupiter. If we can keep Nigel's guilt going, maybe he'll slip up and tell us something else. But be careful. If you push him too much, he may tell his mother everything, and then we will be in great danger. Why don't you, go and have a rest now? I know Jackie said you could stay up here, but, I work best on my own.
But I need to prove something.
I think you've just proved something by being up here.
Okay. Happy lookout.
Yes, you too, Jupiter.
Oh, Helen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you. I'll just go the other way. You stay right where you are, young missy. I want a word with you. What's about? Nigel tells me that he enjoyed having fun with you. That worries me. I know you're up to something, but I don't know what. But I'll find out, don't you worry, missy. I know a bad animal when I smell one. Sniff yourself a lot, do you? You listen to me very carefully, young lady. I know you're up to something, and you will not, repeat, not, get in my way. Be warned. My teeth are just as lethally sharp as these claws. You can't talk to me like that. Jackie would never let you talk to me like that. You go tell your precious little Alpha if you want, honey. But she won't believe you. Nobody believes you, Jupiter. You're nothing. A nobody. A useless waste of space. Waste of spaces don't last very long. No one is ever going to believe you. You might as well give up now. Say goodbye and get lost. So, if you really don't want to put the pack in danger, I suggest you think very carefully about your next step, Jupiter. It might be your last. I will show you. You are dead, Helen. You are dead.
That didn't look very good. In fact, that looked quite dangerous. Wait a minute. That growl Jupiter just did. I recognize it. But how? Of course. My dream. The dream I had the night before Jupiter came here. When I witnessed the entire destruction of the pack. No, that's impossible. How could I dream about a wolf I've never met? Surely, what if Jupiter is the one to destroy this pack? What if she is the real enemy, after all?